Hello friends, this is our fourth lecture on cultural anarchy by Mathew Arnold, and we saw that the two motives for culture, first the scientific passion and second social and moral passion. That is sweetness and light. Sweetness is reason, sweetness is love, and light is reason, science. Now today what we are going to see is that in effect culture and religion they have a similar agenda and they move in the same direction, that is human perfection. The difference is, maybe a slight difference you may find, is that religion insists on spiritual perfection more, that way you can say. Say 90% yes, or 70%. But culture, both. It is the spiritual as well as your other qualities. It's like art, poetry, and painting, and all your talents. Not just religion and spirituality, but all your talents. So, in a way, we can say that culture coincides with religion. Religion provides the greatest and the most important impulse, like culture. Culture provides the great impulse, so most important impulse for perfection. The aim of both religion and culture same, that is perfection. And then we find it enjoins and sanctions the great aim of culture. What enjoins and sanctions the great aim of culture? Religion. Yes, it supports the great aim of culture, and that is the great aim of culture is human perfection. I hope you are following me. Alright? Yes. Culture, you find all voices of human experience. Not just spiritual, all voices. For example, art, science, poetry, philosophy, history. See that? And then you as well as religion. So culture, you hear all the voices. Voices means all the talents of human experience. And just now, as we have listed, art, science, poetry, philosophy, history, as well as religion. So when you say that religion and culture, they both aim at human perfection. The focus of religion is spiritual, while the focus of culture is all voices of human experience. All voices of human experience. But sometimes people complain that my last words are not clear. That's why I just repeated this. I hope you understand. And what does religion say? Religion says the kingdom of God is within you. So the culture is an inward attitude, like the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is within you. And it says, culture says, human perfection is an internal condition. Religion says, the kingdom of God is within you. Culture says, human perfection is an internal condition. Almost the same thing. In the growth and predominance of our humanity. It's an internal condition. Proper as distinguished from animality. So here you have got, one side you have got dichotomies, you can say. One is humanity, the other is animality. So for the growth of your humanity, the humanness in you, and to separate you from animality, what is required is this inward condition of mind is required. That is, the kingdom of God is within you. Harmonious expansion of thought and feeling, which make the peculiar dignity, then wealth and happiness of human nature. So wealth, dignity and happiness of human nature, it depends on what? The harmonious expansion of thought and feeling. Underline thought and feeling, because we will be speaking about this thought and feeling again. What distinguishes animality from humanity? What distinguishes, what makes the dignity of human beings? What makes him better than, or as a totally different species than animals? Is this dignity and wealth and happiness of human nature that you get as a result of the inward condition of your mind, or the kingdom of God within you. You understand that? So it's powers. See? And then what happens is that it is not just having these things, but it is making endless additions of itself. You don't stop in a place. In the endless expansion of its powers. What? Art, poetry, philosophy, science, these things. So endless addition, endless expansion of these powers. The endless growth and wisdom and beauty that the spirit of the human race finds its ideal. So where do you find the ideal of the human race? Where do you find the ideal of the human spirit? Endless addition. Endless addition of spiritual life, feelings, or the spirituality. Endless addition of the scientific temper. Endless addition of aesthetics. Endless addition of beauty. Endless addition of art. And endless addition of all those things which we value in human life. Our values. And that makes things beautiful. That the spirit of the human race finds its ideal perfection. To reach this ideal, that is endless addition, culture is an aid. Culture is an aid. Although you can say the religion and culture, they coincide. But the slight difference is that both aim at human perfection. But what is the difference? In culture you have all the voices. And in culture what you do? There is endless addition of all these voices. That makes human life happy and also beautiful. So this is a very important sentence that I am going to, not exact quotation, but the meaning is this. Not having and resting, but growing and becoming. Underline. I will write it on the board. Not having and resting. Not having and resting, taking rest. But what makes a man culture? Not having and resting, but growing and becoming. But growing and becoming. As I told you yesterday in Montesquieu, the quotation from Montesquieu, you can use it for motivational speeches. The same thing you can do here also. We can, including myself, tell our teacher colleagues, we can tell our students, we can tell our friends, when you give a public speech or in public speaking exercises, you can make this as an axiom, if you want to call it. See that it is a very important statement for every human being in this world. Engaged in anything. It can be art, it can be literature, it can be painting, it can be aesthetics, it can be philosophy, it can be moral science, it can be secular science, whatever it is. What is that? This one. Not having and resting, but growing and becoming. Very often I have heard people saying, even students saying that, see, once they get a job, they stop reading. They don't do anything. By that what happens? You have and you rest. But the second part is missing. That is no growing and becoming. If no growing and becoming, the growth will be stunted. If no growing and becoming, you won't reach the pinnacle of your glory. If no growing and becoming, you will remain like a stone. You are a useless creature. So the nucleus of culture is not having and resting, but growing and becoming. Very, very important. Is the character of perfection. It is said it is the character of perfection. Because what is the aim of religion? What is the aim of culture? Both aim at human perfection. So it is the character of perfection as culture conceives it, as culture understands it, or as culture explains it, or that is the focus of culture. Every human being should never stop doing things which he or she had been doing, but you should continue doing it. You should grow and become. That's the thing. Imagine, I remember, we can see what a huge difference will be there if you sit and think about your first 2-3 years of your teaching career, and also when you compare it with the year of your retirement. What a tremendous development might have taken place in you. If not, sorry, it's a very sad thing. If you can find the difference from the first year of your teaching to the last year of your teaching, there is a huge growth trajectory. If not, then that will be a waste of time and a waste of energy. So you will curse yourself and go out of your classrooms when the day of retirement comes. Otherwise, you will still remain a shining star, and you will be invited by people, sir, please come, like this. So this is very, very important. Not only as I told you about day-to-day life, but you can motivate your friends, you can motivate your students, you can motivate your teacher colleagues, you can motivate when you are giving the public by this. So this is applicable to everyone. This is applicable to every human being engaged in one or the other type of activity that is geared to culture. So this is perfection of culture, culture considered. The expansion here coincides with the religion. Religion also does the same thing. Religion does missionary work, you can see. When you start, there may be 1% of people believing in your religion. After 10-15 years, you will see the number increases. 2%, 3%, 4%. Right? So what happens is that here it coincides with the religion. Because in religion there is a general expansion. There is an inclusive expansion. We are members of the same human family. Perfection cannot be attained by remaining isolated. No man is an island. See that? Without the help of the social, so without becoming a social being, without getting into contact with other people, perfection is impossible. You have to carry others with you. If not, you will be enfeebled, you will be stunted, and the obligation for religion as well as for culture is that you carry others along with you. Because as Bishop Wilson is a very important bishop that very often Mathew Arnold quotes, Bishop Wilson says that to promote the kingdom of God is to increase and hasten one's own happiness. If you promote the kingdom of God, that is culture, the inward condition, that is culture, the inward condition of mind, what are you doing? Directly or indirectly, you are hastening your own happiness. See, you have seen now, September 10 to 15 days especially devoted to giving, charity. And you can see when people give charity, you ask them, when you give the donate things, what happens to them? They enjoy it. There is tremendous self-satisfaction. You know, Abraham Maslow's the pyramid of human needs. Probably you might have come across those. Basic needs like shelter, food and so on. The last need, according to Abraham Maslow, is self-actualization. And what is this self-actualization? That is celebrating life with others. Your money should be shared with others. Your riches should be shared with others. Your wealth should be shared with others. Your time should be shared with others. Your talents and qualities should be shared with others. Then what happens is you celebrate yourself. Sometime back you remember I read a story, a newspaper story, that a headmaster, I don't know whether he is alive or not, it's a public, that's why I am quoting this. He filed a case against himself, or he filed a petition in the court saying that he has nothing to do in this world, therefore the court should allow him to commit suicide. Because otherwise it will be illegal. What a condition is that? You know why? Because that particular person, I don't know who that person is, but the reason for such persons, it's not only that particular person, but all such persons who don't share, who don't carry his brothers with them, brethren with them. What will happen? He gets himself isolated, and the immediate result of isolation is, the consequence of isolation is melancholia. And melancholia will lead you to commit suicide. So herein the inward condition of culture and religion. So but they go to understand that. So when you help a person, when you carry a person with you, that means this is a figurative way of saying that you should help others. Carry a person with you means that you can't carry physically others. So Bishop Wilson says, to promote the kingdom of God, brotherhood of human beings, brotherhood of humans, what is it? It is hastening your own happiness. You get it in 10 folds, 15 folds, 20. You know, all that is Bill Gates, you can see. How much money he has contributed for the development of the poor people. Isn't it? And then another millionaire, multi-millionaires, all these people are doing the same. You have corporates, you have got social responsibility. And amount is corporate social responsibility, CSR. And a huge amount is set apart for this. Why? They could say now, the board of directors come together and say, what is that? We will eat, drink and enjoy. How much eating, how much drinking, how much enjoyment we can have. You cannot have. If you want eat, enjoy and so on, you must have people with you. You have to carry them with you. And that is culture, a cultured man. A cultured man will do that. He cannot live an isolated life. Understand? You understand? Yes. So, that is human nature. It develops you. When you help develop others, you are developing yourself. So then, what is culture? Culture, as we can see, it is the study of perfection. One. It is the study of perfection. Study of perfection. That is, again, study of perfection means the mind, inward condition. Understand? It is harmonious perfection. Not any perfection, but harmonious. What is harmonious perfection means? That is, all your faculties, all your talents, not one. If you develop just one quality or one talent at the expense of all the other talents, that is cancer. Isn't it? One part of your body is multiplying without any control. That is called cancer. So this way also, if one faculty, then that is not perfection, harmony. Should be general perfection. General means not only you are, general perfection. Not only yours, but all the others, general. It is perfection, not having, but becoming. Perfection in becoming, growing and becoming, that you have seen, in becoming. Growing and becoming perfection. It is an inward condition of the mind and spirit. An inward condition of the mind and spirit. Since I am the inward condition of the mind and spirit, not outward set of circumstances. Sixth, culture is not outward set of circumstances. That is, if you own a Mercedes or BMW, more than that I cannot think. So what comes to my mind is the topmost brand is BMW. Is there any? There may be many others. 50 lakhs, crores, 3 crores, etc. A car might cost 3 crores, 5 crores, 10 crores. That's not culture. You may own 10 flats, 100 flats, or you may own, I don't know how much, 1 lakh. That's not culture. It is not inward. That is not outward, but the condition is inward. So as Frederick Harrison has said, or Mr. Bright has said, the beginning of this chapter, the Mathew Arnold has brought to our attention the attack on culture. It is vanity. It is simply boasting. It's of no use. It's an engine that separates humans, etc. It is just a smattering of Greek and Latin. This is what Frederick Harrison said. This is what Mr. Bright said. So it is not frivolous, as you can see. Culture is not frivolous. Culture has an important function to fulfill for mankind. If mankind has to survive, you have to imbibe the values and lessons of culture. And that we have seen, it's an inward condition of the mind, nothing external. In England particularly, he says that the people have an idea that it is external, possessing things, not like the Greeks and the Romans. For the Greeks and the Romans, culture was an inward condition. Not 100%, but 90% we can say. But in England, this is no scope. An Englishman says like that, not me, it's Mathew Arnold who says. So in England, you have got individualism. Individualism in the extreme. In England, you have got such oppositions, for example, inward condition of the mind and spirit. It is opposed by mechanical and material development, not inward condition. More interested in mechanical and material things. General compassion of human family, general expansion of the human family, it is opposed by or thwarted by extreme individualism. The maxim for them is everyone for himself. There is no scope for culture to grow. The expansion, general expansion, no such idea. It is individualism. No flexibility And Arnold says, our inability for, is feeling more than one side. Our inability for seeing more than one side. It is a very sad thing. We can only say that English people, they value mechanical things. English people, they value external circumstances, not the internal. So he says it is very tough. This is not a fertile soil. England is not a fertile soil for the growth of culture or for the growth of the essence of culture, which is the kingdom of God expansion, which is an inward condition. So what happens in that? Very difficult to achieve. Many forces are thwarting in England. Many forces are preventing. Many forces are attacking. Therefore, instead of considering those people, those missionaries of culture like Mathew Arnold as beneficent people, benefactors, they say that they are spurious Jeremiahs. Jeremiah, the prophet Jeremiah. The prophet Jeremiah who angrily preached to the people around him to become good, to change their ways. So that's culture, a part of culture. Then he says, Arnold says, we are called, including myself means not me, but Mathew Arnold, they are spurious, duplicate, fraudulent Jeremiahs. They call him like that. See? So it becomes very difficult these days. See? It becomes very difficult. So what happens is, you have to fight against this habit. You have to stand your position. You have to stand on your principles. And then you have to fight. Mode of action has to be changed. Otherwise, you cannot spread this idea of the kingdom of God as culture, the inward condition as culture, of the mind as culture. Because what is there? You find a Himalayan opposition to that. Selfishness and considering culture as external circumstances. While culture is inward condition. Culture is general expansion. Culture is not having and resting but growing and becoming. Culture is endless addition. Endless addition means growth. Culture is all voices of human nature. Not just religion. Art, philosophy, science, everything. So there has to be an inclusive development and also inclusive attitude. The development should be inclusive, all inclusive. And also the attitude should be to include all the members of the human family, because we are all members of the same family. If something goes wrong with one, naturally what happens? It will affect you also. Now you know the concept of cosmic energy. Now what does that mean? If you, suppose you hurt a person with this pen, throwing this pen at you, then that will make ripples in this cosmic energy. And if it's a positive one, it will make positive effects. If negative, it will create negative effects. So anything you do, it will have effect. You remember the famous saying, every action has its opposite and equal reaction. If you are selfish, you will perish. If you carry others with you, if the expansion is general, then you will become a distinguished person. You will become distinct from the other species animals. Otherwise, you will also become the animality. To separate the animality, from your humanity, yes. Or to show the difference between humanity and animality. What is the basis? The basis is love, sweetness, and light. That is the title of this chapter. So to sum up, we can say like this: culture and religion, they are almost the same. Why? Because they have got the same aim. What is the aim? Human perfection. What is human perfection? Including all your, giving all the importance to or develop all the voices of your experience, like art, philosophy, etc. Not just one. If one, then that becomes a kind of cancer. Same with the people. Carry all the people with you. Not one, you or your friend or your relative. No. Because we are all members of the same human family. Therefore, help. Celebrate life with them. Otherwise, you will suffer from melancholia and something gloomy. And some days you will end your life. Because you will have nothing to do, nothing to live for. There should be something to live for. Then, the most important thing is, culture is inward condition, not external circumstances. And the key sentence today is, not having and resting, but growing and becoming. Underline. That is culture. Listen. The similarity between culture and religion is both aim at human perfection. But the approach is different. When religion insists on spiritual life, Hebraism, as we will see later, culture insists on all the voices of human experience. All the voices of human experience, like art, science, poetry, philosophy, history, literature, everything. And it is an inward condition. But in England you have seen there is extreme individualism, selfishness. And those people who preach culture, values of culture, they are called as spurious Jeremiahs. So we have to change our mode of action and something drastic has to be done to put this message of culture across the English people. Because they are soaked in. Their mind is saturated with materialism and consumerism, and for them everything is machinery, as we will see in the next lecture. Till then, bye, have a nice time. I hope you have enjoyed and you have understood. Thank you very much.